No, there are so many vigorous and strong Sahyungs. Why me? Aren't you the youngest? Because I am the youngest. My legs are thin and my footwork is weak. You also aren't doing anything here. Ah. He didn't like working, so he decided to clean this place instead. Who would have known it would backfire like this? Ugh. Chongmyung sighed deeply. Now he was turned into an errand boy. How did the Plum Blossom Sword Saint Chongmyung end up like this? So what's the errand? You need to deliver a letter to the sect leader. Sorry? A letter? He wanted to ask more, but questioning a Sasuk and fretting over every detail wasn't polite. It hurts their pride if someone young like Chongmyung questions them. Yes, I'll go. Good. Normally, it would be fine to just wait until someone is returning and let them deliver it, but the businesses here are quite chaotic, and it's a fairly urgent matter. I hope you understand. Shit! He even has such a good personality. Chongmyung would have torn their snouts off if it had been a third-class disciple issuing this request. Eunam pulled out a letter and gave it to Chongmyung. This is the one. Yes. Also, Eunam kindly explained what the letter was, in case Chongmyung was curious about it. This is a letter from the Eunha Merchant Guild, so treat it with respect. Huh? Eunha? Jogul quietly explained. That's the merchant association that Master Huang is a member of. Eh? Chongmyung was shocked. Eunam continued to explain while ignoring Chongmyung's shock. This letter was sent to the sect leader because of an emergency. I happened to be in Hwaum, so I was able to intercept it early. Otherwise, it would take another 2 days for it to be delivered along with the other goods to Mount Hua. So, you will have to take this and deliver it to the sect leader immediately. Yes, I understand. It's urgent, so don't delay and leave right away. Yes. Jogul, who watched Chongmyung take the letter into his hands, unwittingly reached his arms out as Chongmyung dashed away towards the mountain. That... Then he mumbled with anxious eyes. Couldn't we send anyone else but him with that? Did you say something? Nothing at all, Sasuk. Jogul quickly said, but his eyes didn't leave Chongmyung's back. I'm probably just feeling too sensitive. But Amnia's premonitions were rarely wrong. Chongmyung, who was climbing Mount Hua, took the letter in his hands. So this is a letter from Master Huang of the Great Eunha Merchants, right? No. Since Master Huang is battling illness on his deathbed, this must be a letter from his subordinates. Really? Chongmyung sighed. Morally, it isn't right for a Taoist to open letters meant for other people and pry into their private matters. But isn't this letter addressed to Mount Hua where Taoists are plentiful? Whether sect leader or disciple, it should be fine for me to peek inside since we're all family on Mount Hua. Isn't that right, Sahyung? What shit are you spewing? However, my Sahyung is dead, so it doesn't matter. Chongmyung always touched others' stuff. With Mount Hua's businesses as they are, it seems like they will remain a mess unless Master Huang steps in to make things easier. But with this situation, was there some kind of emergency in the guild? Something must have happened to Master Huang. How could he know for sure if he doesn't take a peek inside though? Chongmyung took a close look at the letter. An inscription on the surface clearly stated, "For the eyes of the great Mount Hua sect leader only." So they say no one other than the sect leader should open it. It's okay. It's fine. To be honest, even if the sect leader was here, he would have told me what it says anyways. If other people were around to hear him, they would have pulled their hair out yelling at him. Unfortunately, no one was around. Let's see. A letter sealed securely with a wax stamp. No matter how clearly it was torn, marks were bound to be seen. But it wasn't very difficult for Chongmyung, who had plenty of experience raiding other people's property. Well, that's a good thing. Shh! A sharp key rose from Chongmyung's fingertips and accurately separated the boundaries between paper and wax. Then, as if it had never been waxed from the beginning, only a complete envelope remained. Chongmyung opened the envelope, took out the letter inside, and began to read it. Let's see. Chungmyeong crossed his legs and scanned the contents. Chungmyeong's face distorted. Chungmyeong fought back an urge to crush the letter, neatly folded it instead, and pushed it back into the envelope with trembling hands. He took a deep breath. Phew. After taking several deep breaths, he calmed his raging mind. Isn't this that damn demon flower? Demon flower. Literally a demon's flower. Chungmyeong clenched his teeth. There's just no way ordinary physicians can cure this. Because these were the symptoms of that flower. On the surface, the symptoms are similar to being severely poisoned. Therefore, people would spend their time searching for an antidote. However, the demon flower is a poison that occurs when a particular technique of the demonic sect is used. The reason why Chungmyeong couldn't be calm was simple. Demonic bastards! Those bastards, who he thought had been eradicated, were alive and working behind the scenes. No. Chungmyeong slapped his cheeks to calm himself. The one I killed was their heavenly demon. I didn't kill all the demonic bastards. It was natural for the remnants of the demonic sect to be alive. Didn't they say the demonic sect remnants had rushed over to Mount Hua after their heavenly demon was killed? There must have been some who survived the war and grew up. There would have been even more hiding out in the 100,000 mountains. It's no wonder they're still around. The problem wasn't them being alive, but them plotting something. A blazing fire ignited within Chungmyeong's eyes. I don't get it. Do they still hold any grudges against Mount Hua? Why does everything they do damage Mount Hua? There were so many people in this world, yet why did they have to touch Master Huang? Ugh, my head hurts. Chungmyeong took a deep breath. Nothing else can be done. He would have to go and see it for himself. It wasn't possible to say with certainty based on what was written. Chungmyeong would have to see it with his own eyes. Furthermore, reward! A huge reward! At the end of the letter, what was written shone in Chungmyeong's eyes. According to Jogul, only the best of the best could join the Eunha Guild, and Master Huang was famous even in the guild. A massive reward from such a place. He couldn't even imagine how much it would end up being. I can't miss this. Chungmyeong's heart skipped a beat. Nearly 100 years have passed, so not many would know of the demon flower. If they hadn't waged war 100 years ago, not even Chungmyeong would know of it. There was no way they could imagine that these symptoms came from a demonic technique. Anyone who could recognize these symptoms died in the hands of the heavenly demon and the other demonic sect disciples on the day Chungmyeong died. But the world doesn't know. Those who survived that fateful day might know. If they were alive, they would have been a sect leader, but it didn't seem like there were any survivors. But if they had survived, would they have passed the knowledge on? What if one of the others receiving this letter actually has a cure? I must have lost it. I can't even imagine this. Chungmyeong's eyes flared in excitement. Who could try and snatch away one of Chungmyeong's opportunities? Was he really shamelessly targeting patients? But this was money. No, Chungmyeong must solve this dying man's illness for the sake of morality. I'm busy. Chungmyeong grabbed the letter and placed the seal back on it, then melted the wax a little to fix it and moved to the top. Let's give this to them first. That way, even if Chungmyeong resolved the situation, the sect leader would have some understanding of the current situation. Hyunjung seemed to have close ties to the guild. The letter read thusly, Sect leader, the long winter is over and spring is coming. By the time this arrives, the spring plum blossoms will be in full bloom, even where the sect leader resides. The beautiful view of Mount Hua, which I visited with my father, is still etched into my memories. I am full of desire to revisit it sometime, but it is a pity that circumstances do not permit me. Unfortunately, I am ashamed to be writing to you like this in hopes of a request. I am contacting you because my father's condition keeps worsening with the passage of each day. As you know, my father has been in bed since last year as his health began failing. Considering his age, it was understandable. But strangely, in recent days, other symptoms started to appear instead of the usual signs of old age. Father is currently unconscious and unable to move. His body is dyed red, and a black light or something ominous circulates on his forehead while his heart beats erratically. We, the Unha Guild, invited various people to check on my father's condition, but no one made a proper diagnosis. So, as if grasping at straws, I'm trying to find some clue about this illness by sending these letters out to anyone I know is capable. If you know anything about my father's symptoms, we would appreciate it if you could contact us back in any way. I promise to give a massive reward in the name of the Unha Guild to those who provide information that would help improve my father's health. Waiting for a reply. Huang Zhongyi, the minor lord of the Unha Guild.